I share my show on Google Plus, and someone commented on it because it's a public page, nothing to hide here. And he kind of, he raised some great points and some great concerns. He said he used to listen to the show. He got tired of kind of the social, the fact that I would kind of bring morality into technology. And I understood what he was saying. He didn't want, he wants to hear tech news and he wants to hear about what to do. And he has a second half to his question of like, should we be making our own internet? I will get into that in a future episode. But I want to address his point. Why does sovereign tech, why do we bring in these issues of liberty, anarchy, all empathy, all these different areas into science and technology? And to address this, I don't think I have the words. I don't think I can say it as well as a personal hero of mine could say it. And the personal hero that I'm going to conjure up is Carl Sagan. And actually, I'd like to dedicate this entire show. In fact, Sovereign Tech in its entirety could be dedicated to Carl Sagan. But this show in particular, Carl Sagan died in, I believe, 1996 on December 20th, which was just yesterday. And so I consider it a great honor to have him speaking, obviously from a recording, no duh, but to have him speaking on Sovereign Tech. And so here we go.
My feeling, Charlie, is that it's not that pseudoscience and superstition and New Age so-called beliefs and fundamentalist zealotry are something new. They've been with us for as long as we've been human. But we live in an age based on science and technology with formidable technological powers.
Science and technology are propelling us forward at accelerating rates.
That's right. And if we don't understand it, by we I mean the general public, if it's something that, I'm not good at that, I don't know anything about it, then who is making all the decisions about science and technology that are going to determine what kind of future our children live in? Just some members of Congress? But there's no more than a handful of members of Congress with any background in science at all. And the Republican Congress has just abolished its own Office of Technology Assessment, the organization that gave them bipartisan, competent advice on science and technology. They say, we don't want to know. Don't tell us about science and technology.
Surprising, the danger of all this. I mean, this is not the thing that...
There's two kinds of dangers. One is what I just talked about, that we've arranged a society based on science and technology, in which nobody understands anything about science and technology. And this combustible mixture of ignorance and power, sooner or later, is going to blow up in our faces. I mean, who is running the science and technology in a democracy if the people don't know anything about it? And the second reason that I'm worried about this is that science is more than a body of knowledge. It's a way of thinking, a way of skeptically interrogating the universe with a fine understanding of human fallibility. If we are not able to ask skeptical questions, to interrogate those who tell us that something is true, to be skeptical of those in authority, then we're up for grabs for the next charlatan, political or religious, who comes ambling along. It's a thing that Jefferson laid great stress on. It wasn't enough, he said, to enshrine some rights in a Constitution or a Bill of Rights. The people had to be educated, and they had to practice their skepticism and their education. Otherwise, we don't run the government. The government runs us.
And I don't think I could say it any better. There's a lot of reasons I do Sovereign Tech. Obviously, of course, I want my opinions out there. But at the same time, I want people to understand the society we live in. And like Carl Sagan said, the truly great Carl Sagan said, if we don't understand it, we're up for grabs. As humans, and he'd be the first one to say, forget these borders. That's all bullshit and nonsense. Morality, the social aspects of science and technology are just as important as any other aspect of science and technology. It may be the most important part, because like Carl Sagan said, if we don't understand it, then the person that does is going to end up ruling you. And I don't know about you, but I'm an anarchist, and I don't want to be ruled, nor do I want to rule anyone else. So it's very, very important that we know about these things, and that we know about them with the proper context, and with an important attitude, that being, the anarchist attitude, the non-hierarchical attitude. That's all I really mean by anarchy is, non-hierarchy. One person isn't above the other. So thank you, Carl Sagan, for saying that. Very powerful words from a genuine inspiration of mine. And in fact, actually, I had mentioned I did a podcasting special a little while back, and I believe in that I mentioned that, I really, as far as my style, how I like to present things, showing science and technology with a good understanding of history, I totally took that from, was totally inspired from Carl Sagan. So anyway, great honor, great man, truly missed, died 17 years ago on December 20th. It's great to, I'm more than honored to play any words from that man. Anyway, so to understand, let's get right to it, to our main story, which is going to cross segments here. This was actually sent by an emailer. And, to understand, like Carl Sagan was saying, we won't be in control of the government will be in control of us. Well, here's an area where maybe we can look into and see the history of the government and technology, a good long history. And this actually comes from Gizmodo, and by Matt Novak, and it's DARPA tried to build Skynet in the 1980s.